Clustertruck understatedly flew under my radar. I'd basically only heard of the game less than a week ago and dismissed it based on the premise. And it's easy to see why, because titles like Ben and Ed and Trials have burned through most of the patience I once had for physics-based platformers. Not only that, platformers are kind of notoriously difficult to innovate on in an interesting manner because complexification of traversing point A to point B in a way that doesn't lose the player through oversimplification or making the game overly difficult. This is why I'm here to espouse the simple joy of Clustertruck. Functionally, Clustertruck is a game where you travel on the backs of moving platforms in order to reach the end. It's sorta like floor is lava. Touching the ground or any obstacles results in a fail. What changes is how your platforms travel, the order and orientation of your barriers, your direction, and sometimes the trucks themselves. The trucks, your shaky, moving platforms, actually interact with each other in the environment, bumping each other, crashing into objects, exploding, falling, and occasionally crashing into each other. This creates a lot of tense situations where the player must show awareness of the surroundings in order to make it from platform to platform or from truck to truck. Surprisingly, there's also no shortage of ways to move around. Not only are you able to wall jump off the sides or high jump off the backs, there's a set of unlockable abilities that let you stress the game's level design in creative fashion. A grappling hook, a jetpack, a speed up, and a levitate all serve to help you breeze through levels as fast as possible. While a double jump, an air dash, and a short rewind exist as saving graces. What I enjoyed most about this simple system is just how fluid it feels. Once practiced enough, you can move through levels like lightning, jumping from node to node, treating the faster conquest of each level like its own challenge. And when done right, it feels really good, with a few caveats. Unfortunately, I can't stress this fundamental error enough. I'm writing this review specifically on the PS4 version of Clustertruck, where the game does not have modular controls. Which means you're stuck in the scheme of X being jump and still needing to nudge both control sticks around to navigate, which creates this issue of having to jump and turn and either sacrificing necessary momentum to stick the landing, or die and restart continuously to maintain speed. Luckily, Clustertruck makes the latter painless because it's designed with the methodology of death as an obstacle and not as punishment. Akin to games like Super Meat Boy, dying and restarting a level is painless and relatively frustration-free. Though it isn't hard to see how perhaps Landfall games might have benefited from looking more closely at other parkour or even first-person games. In lieu of customizable control schemes, functionally identical setups like Bumper Jumper from Halo and Mirror's Edge that use shoulder buttons to jump might have provided a more ideal and comfortable setup for players. There are the PS4's own accessibility options that allow you to change the controls of a game whether it wants you to or not. But these settings are global, and it can be inconvenient for players to have to back out and change them consistently for other titles. Though it does remain a fact that for me personally, messing around with the control scheme of the game in this manner did yield far more comfortable results. My only other complaint applies to more games than just Clustertruck, but if you're designing a game that doesn't necessarily have boss-friendly mechanics, no-assing it is definitely better than half-assing it. Clustertruck's sole boss level is outstandingly the worst and the least enjoyable of the bunch. This is mainly because it's a mess of mechanics smushed into an overly long level, making it feel like an unworthy half-baked end to Clustertruck's campaign. This almost left me with a sour aftertaste. But what Clustertruck does well, it does really well. The platforming and vast majority of the campaign levels manage to captivate with their own unique variations on the sole challenge of navigating Clustertruck. Replaying levels to speedrun them with new abilities or knowledge based on what you've learned from the later harder levels is rewarding. And though there's a couple of unflinching issues with the game, they only hold it back a little bit, so I think if you enjoy platformers that manage to do something unique and enjoyable, Clustertruck is worth your time. Hi again, Sunny Satellites here. Thanks for watching the second iteration of my gaming vlog. This took a while to get out, mostly because I'm working on several other reviews at the moment, so I hope you'll check back when those are done. They're taking far longer to complete, and Clustertruck was mostly free and turned out to be good. And was beatable in an evening, so it offered a nice opportunity for a shorter review. I think the next video might be World of Final Fantasy or Bloodborne.